Okay, so we'll make a start. We're going to record this session this morning, so we can forward it if anyone wants a copy, or we'll try to anyway. In terms of the agenda that we're looking at this morning, these are the subjects we're going to cover. Don't worry about making a note of them. We'll fly through these. I apologise in advance. This session may be a little bit disjointed. We do training every Wednesday morning, which follows a logical process for new starters, where we just draw a floor plan from start to finish. Today we're going to be jumping around on different subjects, so as I say, if it's a bit disjointed, do bear with me, but hopefully we'll pass on some information that you'll find beneficial. They're the subjects we're going to cover this morning, and we'll just finish up with questions and answers at the end. So we'll just end this session quickly. Move that out of the way. We've got a plan already opened up, ready to draw. Let me just open up a template that I've saved on the system very quickly. That one will do. We can work with this. So I think what we'll look at first of all is expert mode. When we when you start drawing with Metropix, you start off in standard mode, okay? And you get this blue box that gives us hints and tips and guidance about creating a floor plan. What you find sometimes, you go to add a room at the top of the property and it just gets in the way a little bit. It's not a huge problem, but it's a bit of a nuisance. And to be honest with you, once you've drawn a few floor plans, you don't really need it to tell you to please begin by pressing an add room or add doors and windows. So we can get rid of that. And it's through expert mode. Under the options tab, we've got expert mode. There's not really much changes, to be honest with you, and you don't need to be long in standard mode before you can go into expert mode. The only other thing that changes are these symbols at the bottom of the screen: room, stairs, undo and redo. They get pasteled out. They stay there, they still work the same, but they just get pasteled out. So options, let's choose expert mode now. That has disappeared. And now when we click to add a room at the bottom of the screen, we've got more space to work in. Okay, so it makes it a lot easier. The other thing that changes is when we put a symbol onto the floor plan, as we drag the symbol, we get measurement arrows pop up, measurements pop up either side. And so, okay, we don't need to worry about getting a door exactly a sort of metre from the bottom wall there, but what we can do is, I find it's useful for centering up symbols, okay? So if you want to get a symbol in the middle of the wall with 1.32 metres either side, so that's perfect, okay? Um, so that's expert mode. What I can show you next, actually, moving symbols around, is copying symbols. There's a quick way to clone a symbol. And for argument's sake, let's just imagine we've got a fireplace in the kitchen there. So we can put our fireplace symbol onto the kitchen, click on the blue button, and size it as we need so we get it to the right size. And once we've done that, we might find we've got a fireplace that matches that at the other end of the property in the reception room. So rather than drag another fireplace from here over to the reception room wall and click on the blue button, adjust the width and the depth, we can clone this symbol. It's what we call control and drag. So in the bottom left of your keyboard, you'll see a control button, CTRL. I'm holding that down on my keyboard now. And now when I drag this kitchen, it just makes an exact clone, an exact copy of that symbol, okay? So anything, we might have a set of double doors that go out from the kitchen into the back garden, and these could be the same size. So while I'm working on the plan, simply hold the control button down on my keyboard and drag that door, like so. So just a quick way of doing it, okay? That's control and drag. What you'll notice if we move on now onto hotkeys or shortcut keys, if we click on the Edit tab, next to a lot of these commands, you can see there's letters. So next to undo, we've got Z, and redo, we've got Y, B, E, Del, C, whatever it might be. We've also got them under the Options tab under the Zoom mode as well. You've got N with default zoom and W for wide zoom. So they're what we call hotkeys. You don't need to press Control and W to get wide view, but if you want a big plan and you want to zoom out a little bit, just hit W on your keyboard and we zoom straight out. And knowing N is default view, just click N and we come back in again. Okay, so knowing those other commands that we've got, so gone into something different there for a second. Then we've got other commands as well. So you might want to look at this kitchen and perhaps you need to change that from kitchen to kitchen breakfast room. So rather than click on edit, then edit room stroke cupboard and then click on the room, if our mouse is around here, just hit E on your keyboard, which I'll do now. E, I'm straight into edit mode, click on the kitchen breakfast room, job done. Okay, so change the reception room to sitting room, E, click on the room, and choose the new name, sitting room and OK. So it's that quick. It just speeds things up an awful lot. OK, so they're the hotkeys. And actually, while we're on hotkeys, we can look at curved walls because there's a letter C next to drawing a curved wall. I don't know if you've drawn curved walls, but sometimes with bow windows, we know how to draw a bay window when we just double click one side, double click the other side, and then drag the wall out between them. And of course, if it's an angled bay, just drag the angles in. If it's a bow window where it curves, we can go back a few steps. We do it through the Edit tab and the option to draw a curved wall. So we choose this. You get a little red dot that follows the mouse around the page, and simply place the dot at the start of where the bow window starts. And then hold the left mouse button down and drag the dot. And as we do, you can see we're leaving a little red line. So we can draw our curve like so. Release the mouse now, and it looks at what I've done and smooths it all out. Okay. So remember, undo, hotkey was Z. Let's undo that. Hit Z on my keyboard. Remember, Y is redo, Z is undo. So if C is draw a curved wall, I'm going to hit C on my keyboard now, and we're straight into curved wall mode. So there we go, dead easy. So you can draw curved walls really quickly, just like so. Okay, so that's drawing curved walls. I'll just remove those for a second. The only thing with curved walls is when you add one, it doesn't quite, if you go to add windows onto a curved wall, it doesn't quite know where to end. What you will find is we add a window, and that window will carry on past the end of the curves. Just be a bit more careful when you're sizing them up, okay? We can also take off corners with curved walls as well. So if you hit C again, we can perhaps come along this wall, just round off this corner like so. Okay, that's not great, but you'd practice with it and get it right. But that's drawing curved walls and hotkeys. Okay. Split level floor. Sometimes we get a lot of questions from people asking about putting stairs within the same floor. So I can show you that. Let's imagine we've got some stairs that go from the hallway down into the kitchen breakfast room. Okay, so it's stairs within the same floor. And perhaps we've got another set that go from the hallway up into the sitting room. Okay, so we can add stairs on the same floor by going through the Edit tab and choosing Split Level Floor. Okay, so Edit, Split Level Floor, and it takes us through our step-by-step wizard of putting stairs, but we're doing it within the same floor. You're adding steps within the ground floor to create a split level floor, so we'll OK to continue. And now we said the stairs are coming up from the kitchen into the hallway, so we always put the bottom step on first. So we're going to put the right facing set of footprints, or east facing, up from the kitchen. Click those, click next, and OK. We'll pop that one in the kitchen about there, just about there. That's where the bottom step will be. Left click the mouse and back to the wizard, and top step going west to meet it. Click next. We'll line that one up just inside the kitchen door about there. Left click the mouse, and the system always tries to picture your floor plan in 3D. So when we're adding split level stairs, it's just increased the ceiling height in that kitchen just to accommodate those stairs. So we OK that message, and the stairs have been added successfully. So we click finish, and there we go. Now we said there's some steps that go up into the sitting room as well. So I don't need to go clicking on the Edit tab and doing it again. Just hold the Control button down. We'll drag these stairs into the sitting room. We've got the two stairs there, and we can just line them up now. Move the bottom step just inside the sitting room door, like so. Top step again just to meet it, and you can see they're connected, but they're not there. Now, if you're putting two lots of split level stairs, you can always put the longest set in first, because it will increase the ceiling height more than it needs for the other set. Okay, so these could be a shorter sort of run. So we'll put those stairs on there, and of course once they're in, we can click on the blue button and just size them as we need to accordingly. Okay, so that's adding stairs within the same floor. Someone once asked me a few weeks back actually how to add a spiral staircase, just in case you're not aware. It's easy when you know. If we're putting a spiral staircase in, we click add stairs. We're going from the ground floor to the first floor, and it's on the very first screen. The stairs will go from the ground to the first floor. Tick this box if it's a spiral staircase. Tick the box, click next. And because it's in the same position on both floors, we don't need to go through each floor separately. We can pop it just there for the sake of this exercise. Left click the mouse, and that's set it. And so there's our spiral staircase. We can click on the blue button, and we can size it as we need to. We can make it bigger or smaller, whatever. And the nice thing with these is we can rotate the bottom step from this floor and line that one up wherever it might be, and the top step as well, so we can position that wherever it needs to be if we were coming down, like so. And of course, if it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can flip direction just there. So that's it, that's spiral staircases. I don't need that on the plan, so I'm going to delete it. So click on the blue button and just delete. Next thing we'll talk is T-shaped stairs. Sometimes we might have a flight of stairs that go up from the hallway up to the first floor. And when we get to the first floor landing, perhaps by the word landing, we go left and right. So the stairs will be a flat landing with branch off left and right in 2 directions. So T-shaped stairs. On a plan like this, I would do it this way. I'd click add stairs and I'd put the straight flight of stairs in first of all. So ground to first, heading north, like so. And we just put the straight flight of stairs in to start with, going up to the first floor about here, somewhere like that. That'll do. And click the mouse, and that's put the stairs in. Now we've got a straight flight of stairs, and they're now going to go off at angles, so we'll put split levels in. So split level floor under the edit tab, and we'll obviously put the bottom step in first, so we'll head to the left from this step, and the step going to the right to meet it, like so. And that's done that. And then of course we can just line these up a little bit, like so. That'll do. Just to get it so they just touch at the corners. And of course, control and drag, we can drag these ones across, like so. That's your split level stairs. Don't worry about these going the opposite way down and up, because split level stairs never show the direction arrows anyway, so it really doesn't matter which way they're heading, if it's just a 2D floor plan. So that's how you do your T-shaped flight of stairs, okay? Let me just open up another template. I'll show you actually an image that'll explain what I want to show you. Sometimes, I think that's the one, we get sellers sometimes, agents will say, my seller's not happy because it looks as though those stairs are blocking that reception room door. Now, I mean, we know that if you got these stairs, you head up quite a long way, and clearly you'd walk under those stairs to get into that room. But some people want it to show that the stairs, that room isn't being blocked. So we can do that, and the way we'd do that, let me just close this down. I'll open up another template, actually, it's going to be quicker. Won't be a second. That's fine. So open from disk, got a saved one on the system here. So this is that floor plan, and the stairs come along, they go up, and you can see it was where the stairs go over the wall, it cuts them off at an angle, but it's too late there. It looks like it's blocking that reception room door. So what we can do is to create a false room. So we'll click add room, we'll just create a room in this area here. Now it's in the hallway, so we'll choose the same type of room, still hallway type room, we just won't give it a name. And click OK. So it's room type hallway, room name nothing, and click OK. So if we were to upgrade this floor plan to colour, those 2 rooms would be the same colour. They're both hallway type rooms. So now the stairs go up, and when they go over this wall, the system cuts them off at an angle, which is fantastic, but it's not great because we've got a room blocking the way now. So simply just remove the walls, pop an opening on each wall, and that's a false room. And the system will now cut those stairs off at an angle, and when they go up, the finished view will look something like this. And so we've got a false room that doesn't show because we use openings, and it just cuts the stairs off at an angle before it gets to that door. Okay, so that's creating a false room to cut stairs off. Okay. What we can do while I'm on this plan, actually, sometimes you have a really old cottage that comes onto the market with a tight flight of stairs, and let's just show you what I mean. We'll add a floor above. We can put our second floor on here and perhaps create a little loft room or something, whatever it might be. It's only a training exercise, but that'll do. So we go to put a flight of stairs in from the first floor landing. And so we're going from first to second floor, just quickly rattle through these. But it's quite a tight flight of stairs, so we'll start about here, and perhaps the top step is going to finish about here, like so. And when we do, we get an error. The stairs would be too steep, please try moving them further apart. So we OK that message. With an error on stairs, if we don't click to leave them on the stairs, we'll just go back to where we were before we started, nothing to work with. So leave the stairs on the plan, tick that box, and then we've got something we can work with, and click finish. Now we know those stairs aren't connected because there's not a run of red steps. We've got a bottom step, we've got a top step, but they're not connected. You can see the stairs going down on the other floor, there's a run of red steps that connect them. So we know they're all connected, but these ones aren't. So what we can do, we've seen if we put split level stairs in, the system increases the ceiling height to accommodate more stairs. Well, in this example, we really need to get a lower ceiling height so that there's less stairs required to get to the next floor. So hit E on the keyboard, edit room, change the landing, and reduce the ceiling height down to the minimum, down to 1.8 meters, like so. Apply to all rooms on this floor and click OK. And now the stairs are connected. I've done nothing other than change the ceiling height, but it takes less stairs to get there. So if you want a tight cottage, try reducing the ceiling height, obviously from the floor below, on the floor that the bottom step is, and that can help a lot. So that's just something to be aware of. Okay, I want to show you drawing angled rooms next. Let me just open up another template. As I say, it's disjointed, but we'll get there. Won't be a second. That's the one. So we're drawing some angled rooms on a floor plan. Whenever you add angled rooms, we'll imagine we've got this property here. We've actually got some rooms that come off at an angle here, okay? So, I mean, we could have a store cupboard or something. Just call that one a cupboard. Perhaps there's a utility room. We can quickly add a utility room there. And don't worry about this getting them to the right size initially, because we're going to be moving them all around anyway. We can perhaps put our double garage down the bottom here like so. That's fine. Double garage will do. Now, once we've got all the rooms drawn on the square, and try and add all the rooms you can, we can then drag the walls out and make the angles, okay? So just drag the dots to create the angles like so. I'm rushing this a little bit, but you sort of get the idea. So having created all the rooms on the angle, let me just finish off our double garage like so. We now know that all those rooms are connected, because when we add a door, the door shows, okay? And I'll explain what I mean by doing this. That door all connected nicely. Perhaps if we'd forgotten to add a room, okay, so perhaps we've got a room that we wanted to add here. That'll do, I don't know, a family room will do. Playroom, that's fine. We can try and add these together, and that looks fine. All those walls are connected, which is great, and we just square it off as we need to. And what we find is we go to add a door, and we've got a solid wall. It hasn't shown on these ones, but that one it has. And the reason for that is those rooms aren't connected. It looks like they are, but we can just drag these walls away, like so. Okay, so those rooms aren't connected. That one is, but the other one isn't. So what we need to do is just to double click on this wall, double left click, and we set our little marker. And now those walls are both connected at that point there. That's the critical thing. And now that door's showing, okay? So if you're adding walls, angled rooms, and you've perhaps forgotten to add one, this is how you do it. So click add your room, whatever it might be. Another utility room, but that's fine. And you just need to remember to add every section, every intersection as well. So we double click on the wall there and drag that one to that first dot. Not to the end, not down to the utility room, to that first one there. And then we can drag this one down to the corner, like so, okay? We can drag this one up to meet. So we're just making sure all the white dots in all the angles are joined together. And I say, when we do it that way, we know that those rooms are connected because the doors show properly. Okay, so that's angled rooms anyway, covered quickly. Sometimes you have a property where there's a lot of outbuildings. Okay, so we might draw it this way. Let me just open up another template. Won't be a second. This one will do. And what we've got is a property here where we've got a ground floor with our reception rooms and what have you, and we've got a double garage, and we've got a barn with a workshop and a WC, and we've got a stable block with a tack room and stables. So there's an awful lot of outbuildings drawn on this ground floor, and if we go to the first floor, we've just got the first floor rooms, okay? So if we were to complete that floor plan, it would look something like this. Bear with me, that one. This is the same floor plan that we just processed, and we've got our ground floor, then the double garage, the barn, and the stable block. But look at all this wasted space, okay? And that's not great, because obviously on the finished plan it's going to be really squashed down. Those rooms are quite small and difficult to read. So we want to maximise best use of the space. So let's just close that down for a second. And what I would do with this floor plan is not draw it that way. So let me just come out of this one and open up another one. I would draw it something like this one. So we've got our same ground floor with our reception room and our bathroom and what have you, and we change floors to go up to the first floor, which is great. But then I've added another floor above. It would have been second floor, and I've renamed it to double garage through the drop-down menu there and rename. And we've got our double garage drawn as a separate floor. I've got my outbuildings drawn as a separate floor, and I've got my stable block drawn as a separate floor. So we've really got a 5-story property. Okay. Now, one minor issue when we go to plan complete it is we'll get an error message, and so we click plan complete, and the system is wanting us to add stairs. It wants us to add stairs on the first floor up to the double garage, from the double garage up to the outbuildings. It's seeing these all as separate floors on a 5-story property. So we OK that message, and all we need to do is click on the options tab and untick require stairs to all floors. Okay, and now we can plan complete it. I want to show you something that you don't find anywhere else, so we'll name this. So it's just a template that I opened up, so that's fine. So advanced training will do. On the first screen, actually let me talk you through the plan complete process very quickly because it's worth just touching on this rather than come back. When you plan complete the floor plan, public property description just means do you want to put any text or wording onto the floor plan, any text for public consumption, so you can enter something manually there. If you copy from private, it will just have the address without the house names. If it's sort of 57 High Street, it will just put High Street in there. It's not something I use, to be honest with you, but that just means you want to put text or wording onto the floor plan. The system can calculate the floor area as well from what you've drawn on the graph paper. It does all the calculations from what's been drawn on the graph paper, not any measurements that you amend at the end. And if you don't want the area, just click Don't Show the Area. And we can add a direction arrow or a compass rose. So if you've got your compass out and north was facing to 5 o'clock, just put your north arrow and it'll be heading in that way. Now I want to show you something that you don't find anywhere else on the subject of changing floors, and it's under the advanced button on this screen. Okay, it's advanced training, so we need to look at this, and we can change the layout of this property in terms of the floor layout. Now you'll have your own account preferences where the floor plans are laid out side by side as standard, but you might want to override that with certain plans, and on here under advanced we've got manual floor layout, and it's the only place you find this. And if I click manual floor layout, we now get a list of all the floors. It doesn't give us the detail on each floor, but it enables us to move floors around and line them up as we want to. So if we had it like that, we'd have a heck of a lot of wasted grey space. So we need to move these floors and line them up the best way to maximise best use of the space. So the ground floor could be there. We can have our double garage on the left, our outbuildings next to it, and perhaps a stable block just to the right. And now you can see in terms of wasted space, very little, perhaps a little bit down here, and that's it. We're making best use of the space. So we'd click OK, and that's now set the floors that way. So we click OK. Just to finish off talking you through the plan complete process, when you plan complete a floor plan, you can change measurements, so don't get paranoid when you're drawing it. Every room's got to be absolutely perfect. If this 5.25 metres width should have been 5.29, we can manually change it to 5.29 metres. Perhaps if this was 4.27, just change it. You can change it whatever you want to. I mean, I could change that from 4 metres to 15 metres. It doesn't really matter. It's just putting the right measurement into that particular room. It doesn't start moving walls around or messing up the floor plan. And the other thing that we can do, not a great example, it's got a square room, but you could add maximum, you can add text after each measurement up to 13 characters, and perhaps with some you might want to put into bay, whatever it might be. You sort of get the idea, okay? So you'd work your way down the list and just amend the measurements as you need to, add text. You can even add measurement arrows if you want to, that's an option, and just tell people where you're measuring from and to. So if you have an L-shaped room, you might want sort of say you're either measuring into the L or not, or into a bay or not, or whatever it might be. So you'd work your way down the list, and some rooms you might not want measurements in the WC for argument's sake, so just say no measurements. And if you don't want any measurements on the floor plan at all, just click remove all measurements, okay, and then click send to Metropix. So they're just things that you can do during the plan complete process. I'm going to cancel that now, but we'll assume that we've processed this floor plan with all the different floors, and when you get the finished version, it'll look something like this. So that's how the finished version would look, with my ground floor and the first floor side by side, my double garage, my outbuildings, and my stable block, like so. So that's the advanced button, just enables you to control the floors, and doesn't it look a lot better than the other one where it's all squashed down, and a lot of wasted grey space, wasn't there? So outbuildings are separate floors. Final thing to show you, I think we'll just look at Plan Studio. Actually, let me just complete this floor plan very quickly for the sake of, no, we won't bother, it's going to take too long, but won't be a second. Let's just come out of this floor plan, that's fine. Okay, so let's just open up an existing plan that we've got. So we can open up the existing plan that we've got. Let's just open up this one. I want to show you Plan Studio. So we've got a floor plan that we've completed here. And there are a few options with Plan Studio, so I just want to show you some of the features that we've got. So we can click Open in Plan Studio. Plan Studio is a bolt-on program. We just work with the finished image of the floor plan. It's a bit like opening it up in Paint or something. So it doesn't actually change the floor plan on your Metropix account. It's not like we've open edited it and we plan complete it again. We're just working with the final image. But things we can do with Plan Studio. we can move floors around. Okay, so in the same way as under the advanced button on the last plan, we can actually move these floors around and line them up. I know sometimes you go to property practice, if there's not a bay window, it lines up the first floor wall directly with the sort of bottom line of the floor below. So we can just move it up and line it up a little bit better, like so. Okay, things like the compass rose, you can see we could perhaps drag that in a little bit, and that outside border of the property, all this wasted space, we're going to reduce a little bit by bringing that in a little bit. Something else you could do, you might want to move the caption up a little bit. Again, it's just making best use of the space. So if we left click on the floor, we can click detach caption, and now that is separated, so we can just drag this up, perhaps up there a little bit, whatever it might be. This one we can do the same, detach caption. I don't know, we might want to move that somewhere up the top there perhaps. You get the idea anyway. It's just being able to move things around and reposition sort of text and wording as we need to. This disclaimer, we might want to move up a page a bit, but again, it's all just squashing it up and making a bit and best use of the space. So if we were to complete this and save the image, let me just do so. Whenever you're in Plan Studio, one important thing that you must get into the habit of is to remember to change the resolution. The default is 900 pixels, which is too low really. For something like this, it needs to be a minimum of 2000 pixels, probably 3.5, and if a big floor plan, probably even 4 or 5. So let's just say 3000 pixels for this image. We know it's going to be a good resolution, nice sharp image. So we've increased that to 3000 pixels. File, save whole plan as image. So we can save this. Let's pop it on the desktop, and we'll call it advanced. 4th of May will do. By default, the system always is set to a GIF as well, so just change that to a JPEG. Again, remember that, GIF to JPEG. So it's on the desktop, advanced 4th of May, we just click save. And let's just load that one up. I'll find it again for you, won't be a second, and we'll just load up that image. There we go, that's the one. And that's the plan that was a bit rushed, but that's the plan that we saved just now. So you can zoom in, you can see how the ground floor and the first floor text is up there, the compass roses have moved up a little bit, and the disclaimer's moved up. So just making better use of the space. And because it's 3000 pixels, it's a much sharper image. We zoomed in quite a long way before we started to get pixelated and grainy. Okay, so that's quite a sharp image there, and we zoomed a long way into the floor plan. So that's how to Plan Studio. One other thing that we can do with Plan Studio, again, it's really useful. We sometimes get agents to say, can we set the wording so it's centered in the room? The system would look at this room and it'd see there's most space towards the top and try and put that text and wording there. So we can move text around as well, and we do that through the Edit tab and the option to cut and paste text. I'll just show you this. We click Cut and Paste Text, and we just need to choose this text. We put our mouse to the top left of the text, left click and hold and drag, and as we come down to the opposite diagonal corner, we've encompassed all the text and we now release the mouse. That processes for a couple of seconds. Oh, now nothing seems to have changed until we put our mouse over that dining area text, and that's now enclosed in a box, and we can move that text down and just center it in the middle of the floor plan. Okay, so that's how we can center text. The other thing we can do is make it bigger, so we can move the text over to this side of the page. And this little red box in the bottom right hand corner, we can left click and hold and drag that down, and that just makes a whole lot of text bigger. So if you've got a floor plan that's really big, sometimes we need to increase the size of the text, we can do it through there. So that's edit, cut and paste text, choose the text that you want to change, and as I say, it takes a couple of seconds just for it to detach it from the floor plan, and we can do that as we need to. Okay, so that's moving text around. And if you want to, you can actually save a floor separately. So if you want a really big floor plan and it's too big to perhaps display on your website, you won't want to split it up into 2 floors, we could do it like this. All you do is left click on the floor. Now, I probably wouldn't have detached that caption if I was doing it this way. That would still be at the bottom and be part of this floor. But we can just click Save Floor, okay? So again, just need to save it as a JPEG. And I'll just call this Advanced Floor, that'll do. And we'll save that to my desktop, and again I can just show you how that will appear on the finished plan. Bear with me, there we go, and that's it. That's how that will appear as well. So that's Plan Studio, just enables you to sort of save floors, move text around however it might be. Okay, when we finish Plan Studio, just a case of file and exit, and that's really it, guys. If you ever have any questions, you can click contact us on the website. There's no 1184 number, or you can send us an inquiry, perhaps need help drawing a plan, whatever it might be, and just put your name and your company, your phone number. And we do pride ourselves on our support. Response time, even for emails, is under 20 minutes. We're really proud of the support we give our customers. So that you can rest assured we'll always answer your inquiry promptly. But that's it. Thanks ever so much for your time. Thanks for listening. We'll start some questions and answers, but I'll unmute everybody and we'll stop recording now. But thanks very much. Thanks everyone. We'll have some questions now.